Kings of London, they're running the game. From the bridge to the world, hear the echoes roar. Chelsea Alliance, back for more. Breaking news, signings in sight. Tactical talk under Stamford lights. Legends rise, the young gun shine. Chelsea forever, this is our time. Oh, Chelsea Alliance, we stand as one. We're strong and defiant. Oh, Chelsea Alliance, heart and soul, we're true and vibrant. Transfers, tactics, goals we chase. Blue blood pumping, we set the pace. Debates get heated, the passion's real. We talk the truth, no need to kneel. CFC, CFC, stand up strong, let's make history. CFC, CFC, the pride of London, can't you see? Oh, Chelsea Alliance, we stand as one. We're strong and defiant. Oh, Chelsea Alliance, Chelsea forever. The blues keep rising, up the blues. Blue is the color, pride in our veins. Kings of London, they're running the game. From the bridge to the world, hear the echoes roar. Chelsea Alliance, back for more. Breaking news, signings in sight. Tactical talk under Stamford lights. Legends rise, the young gun shine. Chelsea forever, this is our time. Oh, Chelsea Alliance, we stand as one. We're strong and defiant. Oh, Chelsea Alliance, heart and soul, we're true and vibrant. Transfers, tactics, goals we chase. Blue blood pumping, we set the pace. Debates get heated, the passion's real. We talk the truth, no need to kneel. CFC, CFC, stand up strong, let's make history. CFC, CFC, the pride of London, can't you see? Oh, Chelsea Alliance, we stand as one. We're strong and defiant. Oh, Chelsea Alliance, Chelsea forever. The blues keep rising, up the blues.
All right, welcome everyone. Hope you guys can hear me. Welcome to another edition. Yeah, welcome to another edition of the Chelsea Alliance show, the collaborative show that will be spread across different channels. So first of all, I have Kochula here, Chelsea Perspective. This is episode 3 of the Chelsea Alliance or the Blue Alliance show, and it's live on Chelsea Sessions for this episode. So, big up to you, Kochula.
Big
Welcome
up,
as
man.
well.
Big up. Good music. Good music. I love reggae a lot. I don't know if I've told you that before. Uh, good lyrics also. It was good. I like it, honestly.
All right, so, yeah, it's good. There's something that was put together quickly, but let me see. There's not much in the chat, but I'll just quickly just highlight what Tobago is saying here. So it says, "Big up everyone." Then he says, "Hit the like button, people, and subscribe to the channel." And big up to you, Tim CFC. Says, "Big up, Ty." I appreciate you being here, Tim. Thank you for tuning in. And Tobago is also saying that it's a good song. But yes, as you guys can see in the title, for this episode of Chelsea Alliance, we'll be discussing, well, two main topics. The first being the stadium news. There's a lot of information coming out about what's the next step in terms of the stadium. We know that it's been something that's been discussed for years now. From the owners came in, we heard their plans for the stadium and how perhaps that would have changed from upgrading and perhaps moving to a different stadium. But that's one aspect, and then obviously we'll dive into speaking about some potential summer transfers or the links that are taking place with some options presently. So just bring this up. All right, so see if I can
I can
share
see the
this. But do
comments
you have
now.
anything? Oh, you can see the comments now.
Yeah, it
Okay,
was
I think
my
Paul
again. The
requested.
reason I wasn't seeing it, it was my fault. I was the tab I had it on private chat, so I wasn't able to see what you were typing at the time. But I switched it to comments because I've always used the system of from an angle of the host, so I don't go through the process. I haven't because I had that issue of not seeing the chat. But go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, fair enough. So yeah, I mean, it's about adjusting as well. But let me see what I can. There's an item here that I'm trying to bring up, and having some technical difficulties. But all right, so this is it. So start with this. Hope you can see it as well.
Yeah, maybe
So
you
it
have to zoom
says,
out a bit.
let me see. All right, do it
Yeah,
this
there
way
you go.
instead.
Better off.
Probably. All right, good. So this is, well, it's breaking. This is from CFC PICE or PYS, whichever one people call him. But it says Chelsea sources say there will be no stand-by-stand rebuild due to cost, disruption, and limited ability to improve match day experience to capacity. The two options left are a complete demolition and redevelopment or move to Earl's Court. So, what do you think about this first item here, Coach?
Here's the thing. It was always going to be unnecessarily expensive if they try to build if they go by the side-by-side approach. I think the better option, give me 1 second here, let me take care of something quickly. The better option would be to find you could say they go to Earls Court where they have play, you could call it a playing field, where they have the opportunity to start afresh and not try to navigate any existing structure, or maybe try to make do, you could say, of a very small space. Like we've heard before, to even build a good stadium that will be big enough to measure up to the sort of stadium we already have in London, they'd have to build downwards, which makes it even more, in my opinion, unnecessarily difficult. But still, I think it's looking more and more as if the only viable option, given the stubbornness of the Chelsea pitch owners, is that they will probably, maybe, will end up not getting, you can say, not being able to live there because of how the name is tied to the Chelsea pitch owners, the name Chelsea Football Club. But I did see something a few days ago that gave me a bit of hope. I think it was an announcement from the chairman of the Chelsea pitch owners that said something to the effect of the board of the Chelsea pitch owners, they don't have the right to just tell Chelsea. They're not going to be the ones to tell Chelsea, yeah, you can leave and live with the name. I think there'll be a vote by all the members but still I'm concerned because from what I've seen so far, my realization is that a lot of the members and they're not open to Chelsea leaving Stamford Bridge. That's where I'm concerned, but there's a bit of hope given the fact because people can come campaign for the club to move to Earls Court. You can get someone you can educate someone on the importance of us having a space such as the Earls Court where we can build a state-of-the-art stadium, build a modern stadium, have enough space to build one of the biggest stadiums in the UK that befits our name as Chelsea Football Club. We can start the campaign. That's the only hope I have, but it's not going to be easy. If Roman, who I think I wasn't the first, I'm not the first person to say this. I think it was the Dante or who I can't quite remember who said that. If Roman, who knew how to cut corners, who knew how to find ways to do the undoable, wasn't able to convince them to allow him to move with the name to somewhere else, then Todd Boehly and co. It will be even more difficult for them.
Yeah, I mean, as you said, there's a lot of issues in terms of this whole stadium thing. As you rightfully said, the stadium pit owners, that is one of the reasons why they haven't really been able to move at a pace that they'd want to as well, because at the end of the day, you can't disregard that you have pitch owners. So it's a case of, if you want to leave, you're gonna have to ensure that you have some sort of agreement with them. So it has to be some of a democratic type of thing. I really hate speaking in a political sense, so I'll try to stray away from it. But that's the situation. You have a whole bunch of pitch owners that, as you said, they're not really open to leaving.
And they don't. And here's the unfortunate thing, Ty, if you don't mind. Part of it is driven by the hatred for the owners. Not necessarily. Some of them, there's a lack of openness for the club to move to Earls Court, where we have a much bigger space to build the sort of stadium we want to build. Some of them, their argument is driven by culture, by, you can say, I don't know what's the correct term for it, history of the club, which sometimes just doesn't make sense. You understand? Sometimes if a lot of people dwell again in their past, or on what's the correct connecting verb there to use, dwell again in such thing, they're not going to make progress. We need to move on. I get it. The history doesn't die should Chelsea move away from Stamford Bridge. But what the most important point I wanted to make is this: the concerning thing is that some of them, their stubbornness, their lack of access, you could say openness for the club to move to somewhere else is driven purely by their hatred of the Chelsea owners.
Yeah, I mean that is definitely a part of it as well, because if you think about certain individuals who are content creators and all of that, who do have percentages as pitch owners as well, they don't have any respect for the owners. They don't want the owners to remain and all of that. So they're gonna make it as difficult as possible to ensure that the progress in terms of making their plans go forward, because most likely, as you mentioned, in terms of, if you want to make a redevelopment, or if you want to develop the stadium that we're currently at in the Stamford Bridge, you'd have to go down and all of that. It's complicated. So it's better to make a move to a different area where you can have perhaps a better infrastructure. The structure will be more accommodating. You don't have to be buying out individuals who are around that area, because you have that space there. But interesting enough, this is another report here from Jacob Steinberg that says Chelsea risk missing out on the chance to move to Earls Court if they fail to submit a bid for the site quickly enough. It is understood that Chelsea have held talks in recent months with various figures who will have a say over the future of the Earls Court site. So this is a picture of what it looks like. So it's the proposed site is this Lilly Bridge Depot, and then Stamford Bridge. So you can see the proximity to Stamford Bridge, and it's based on this view. So when you look at the structure, well, to me, it looks. I don't know what you think, but the structure, it looks like you have more space there than you have at Stamford Bridge. If you find a way to change the structure and the formation of the proposed site, perhaps. Look, but I don't know
I'm
what you
just
think about
the structure is not an issue. Engineers can always, again, engineers are known to be able to make do of what they have, the real estate they have. They can, you can see them produce some magic with what they have. The issue, my biggest concern has always been the cost, not necessarily the space. You could say, yeah, I get it. The space, the lack of, you could say, space is the reason. It drives, you could say, the concern for the cost, because yeah, to build where we are right now, we'd have to build downwards, which means we have to innovate, dig deeper, and it will cost a lot of money. So missing out thing, I don't blame Chelsea, because right now you could argue, from the way I see it, uh, 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 Chelsea are not certain what's going to happen. They're not certain whether they'll be able to move to Earls Court without having issues with the Chelsea pitch owners. They're also not too interested, in my opinion, in building at the bridge, because yeah, we heard a month ago that we've secured some properties surrounding the Stamford Bridge vicinity with the intent of building again with the intent of increasing the space we have around that area to build the stadium. So the fact that we're still not content with that shows that yeah, they're not too certain what to do at the moment. So I don't blame them. The lack of, you could say, the fact that yeah, the club could miss out on Earls Court. I mean, no surprises there, because they're not too certain what they're going to do. And they're not too certain whether it be okay. If they pay for the Earls Court property, then they still have issues moving due to the Chelsea pitch owners' stance in terms, or how they're tied with the name of the brand of the club. Because yeah, I don't see the club deciding to say, let's move and forfeit the name and maybe start going by the name Angela Football Club. I don't see that happening. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's just the case, and this is a follow up to the report before, that says that sources have indicated Chelsea enjoy private political goodwill over Earls Court. It is felt that a multi-use football stadium would benefit the local economy, which I don't think surprises many people, and there would still be the potential to build affordable housing on the site. So, as you said, in terms of um the current stumbling blocks or the setbacks there, the pitch owners and having the rights, to really have a say in what happens going forward in terms of selecting a stadium or selecting what happens with where the home ground would be. It leaves a whole bunch of things that aren't straightforward. None of this process has been easy, and I don't know. I hope they find a solution soon, because at the end of the day, I mean, this is something that off the pitch that perhaps isn't as problematic as something would be on the pitch. But I just think, it's been years. We've heard they've had plans for a while now, and they haven't been able to go any further, because when they first tried to stay at Stamford Bridge, they realized it wouldn't be feasible, it wouldn't be logical, and it wouldn't be an easier option for them. So moving stadium is perhaps the better thing to do. But as you said, it all comes down to the historical factors of this has been the home ground for so many years, and leaving it's sentimental reasons that is really shaping or maneuvering the reasoning as to why things haven't gotten the chance to progress further than it could have. So I hope there's a solution found for it, but I don't know. It's a very complex situation at the moment, especially if they miss out on this ground, for example.
Please send Dante a link. I want to fight him. I want to fight him. Be quick before he tells you he's going to go to sleep. Houston, Dan, Ty. I think I'm going to go with Bobby. The other day we had the same conversation. He talked about how the Chelsea pitch owners was established with good intentions, but right now I think they are exploiting. You could say, what's the more accurate language to use there? They are holding the club hostage, unfortunately, and again, some of them, the lack of openness for the club to move to another location is driven by a cynic intentions. Unfortunately, the hatred of the new owners. That's where the most annoying aspect of the whole thing. I'm not sure what else to make of it. I'm not sure how else to see it. It's a pure hatred, and the hatred is deep. And unfortunately, it's gone beyond the Chelsea owners to the entire. Again, if you're an American, you're part of it. If they just go with the term, the Americans that don't understand football, Americans killing our club and all that nonsense. It is an unfortunate situation. I'm not sure what else to say about it. I'm just gonna sit with a bucket of popcorn and follow the situation and see how it pans out. Honestly.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing, you know. It all a lot of it stems from the hatred. I mean, you can love or hate what they're doing, but at the end of the day, they're here. I don't know. I don't want to mention protests and all that, but you know, in terms of certain actions that are being taken, it doesn't really change anything. It won't cause any difference, because at the end of the day, the only thing it does, it perhaps gets their attention in the sense of, okay, there's some vocal aspect there, but at the end of the day, it means nothing. But we'll have to see what happens in terms of the whole, you know, this decision as to when the stadium development can perhaps happen. Will there be a move? Will they find some way, which is highly unlikely, to stay at Stamford Bridge? But Dante is here, so let me see if I can get his thoughts before we progress further. So big up to you, Dante.
Yeah, big up, Ty. And who's the other guy there? Oh, that's Coachella. Big up, Coachella.
Do I know who you are? I don't.
I've never seen you before, but yeah, I'll say hi to you anyway. So big up, Coachella.
Big up. Big up,
big up, and everyone else.
Again?
Where's Tobago?
CFC Dante. Tobago is gone.
Yeah, he's MIA. He's MIA at the moment.
Did you see?
Yeah, I'm missing in action at the moment. Yeah.
Did you see he put a post? He put it up on Grok. What's his favorite player? And he came back as David Tobago Luiz.
Oh, as a player.
Yes. So that was a pretty funny one.
And then I said, coach, it was Mourinho. Because he had he had that one first, yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting, fun stuff to do with Grok.
I see you guys are talking about the stadium.
Yeah.
So what's your thoughts on that topic? It's something that's been trending in recent days.
Yeah, definitely been trending. A lot of positives, a lot of negatives, a lot of people who don't want to move, a lot of people who want to move. It's a bit all over the place, to be honest. As usual, the season ticket holders, most of them, not all of them, but most of them don't want to go anywhere. They want to stay there, and they're happy to stay in a 40,000 stadium, under 40,000, I should say. And just as long as they stay there and they don't move, and the money doesn't go to the ownership, because they don't trust the ownership, what they'll do with the money and how they're going to build a new stadium. So that's what it's all about, unfortunately. But yeah, in my opinion, we definitely need a new stadium, and that Earls Court or anywhere around London would be ideal. Keep Stamford Bridge, play there while a new stadium gets built, and a brand new spanking stadium gets built, 60, 70, maybe even 80. Who knows how much they want to put. It doesn't matter the size, but yeah,
I mean,
brand
if
new
you want to
stadium.
build, would have to build one of the best in England. It's really
well, from what Bowley said,
at least London.
From what Bowley said, they want to have the best one. Yes. The best club in London deserves the biggest and best stadium.
Because does it make sense that Chelsea builds a new stadium and it's still not one of the best, and it's still, you could say, the one with the least capacity? At least in London, it has to be one of the best. Look at Tottenham; they have one of the best in England. Instead of the
they do. I think they were voted one of the most modern and best stadiums in Europe, not just England. So
I'm just, you can say sometimes, you know, as pastors would say, to avoid not lying accidentally, I just had to stick with London. Yeah.
Yeah, look, and what from Bowley said, and the way it's looking, they will build. If they're going to spend money and they're going to go all out and build a big, beautiful stadium that's going to be, the best one in London and the whole of England, 100%. They're not just going to go and build a cheap stadium just to have a big stadium, and they're going to look at it. They're going to build a proper big stadium, and that's what we need. We need more brand new season ticket holders to go to these games. Because the current ones, most of them, unfortunately, not all of them, but a lot of them are, against anything like that. And they're against the ownership, and they're against a bigger stadium. And that's because they're all 50 plus, 60-year-olds that have been going for 40 years to these games.
I'd say, partly, you can say that was the case before. Legacy fan base, unfortunately. Apologies to anybody who takes offense with that language used there. But here's the thing. Something else I want to say, I think I've said that already, but you weren't here at the time. You can say partly. You can say at this point, maybe I think it'd be correct to say mainly driven by the hatred for the current ownership. Correct. They're no longer new owners, and that's concerning. And there are so many facets to it. There are many angles to see it. You see, there will almost always be an issue with the Chelsea pitch owners. Either the legacy fans or those driven by the hatred of the owners. One I saw on X the other day saying he wouldn't allow Chelsea move. Chelsea PT, how do you call them? And then Chelsea pitch owner, CPO, shouldn't allow Chelsea to move because, they're not sure what they're going to do with the increased revenue that the stadium will bring in. What do you think they're going to do with it? I mean, go buy a house in Mars or maybe in the moon? I'm not sure. I couldn't believe that. Even Helgi, that I have always believed things, you can say objectively, wants that too. I couldn't believe it. So, unfortunately, not just the legacy fans, some are just, some truthfully are just because of the history of the club. But the history can move with the club. The ground will always be remembered as the place where Stamford Bridge was. But it doesn't. The history of the club doesn't say, okay, since we've moved, we'll start counting our trophies from zero. We haven't won any because we moved from Stamford Bridge to Earls Court. It just doesn't make sense. So the argument from a cultural history perspective just doesn't make sense. Playing at the same ground for 1,000 years doesn't add anything to your team. It doesn't help you win more games. It doesn't. Honestly, no. Getting bigger allows you to have more home fans, which you could argue in turn more support, which in turn gingers the team to get a win. It's just some arguments you see there just doesn't make sense, but I'm tired of arguing with people, really.
And crucially, that's the crucial word, the new fans, some new fans, younger generation fans that are going to go there. They're going to make noise. They're going to be loud. They're not going to sit there with their arms crossed and just watch and, complain about everything and just not add to the atmosphere. At least there'll be a brand new set of fan base that'll, snap up those tickets, and you're going to have a much better crowd, much louder, much more involved, much more behind the team. It's going to be way better. So that's a big aspect of it as well. I think that's very important because we don't have that at the moment. It's probably one of the worst grounds to play at home in England at the moment. There's not much support for the team or anything. So I think that's a very important one. Obviously the financial, the money and everything. People are complaining that bold and they want to lease out the stadiums for concerts and stuff off seasons. They're like, well, that's not proper. That's not a proper football pitch, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, well, it makes money for the club, a lot of money. And that in turn lets us spend more money on the club and more players, etc., etc. So I don't know. They're just against it. Actually, last night, it's morning now, I just unfollowed another season ticket holder that I had been following for a very long time. And as soon as I brought it up, he started being rude and offensive and just entitled and just
unfortunately most of them are not open-minded, and that's the issue.
Not open-minded at all.
If you can listen to me, then I can listen to you, pour your hearts out. If I don't agree, I will let you know. But I get issues when I listen to you, and then when I start to tell you, okay, I disagree with this, you start getting angry or getting all bent or out of shape. I don't like it. Go ahead.
Yeah, so I had to unfollow him. Like, sorry, but I've been following you since the start, but now, I'm not taking that. I'm sorry. You don't want to have a nice conversation about it, then that's fine. If you want to be like that, and yeah, I unfollowed him. Unfortunately, they don't like the fact that foreign, like, if the new stadium gets built, more foreigners will come to the games and have season tickets. They don't like that fact. I'm like, well, what's wrong with that? There were still Chelsea fans. Doesn't matter if we're in South Africa, Australia, America, wherever. I'm still a Chelsea fan. It makes no difference. I'm not there every week. I'm pretty far in Australia. So last time I was there was years ago, but I do plan on going hopefully later this year. And if I had the chance to buy a season ticket, they're not really that expensive. Well, for me anyway, I would actually buy one even from here. You know why? Because then I can actually sell that ticket every week and actually make money on it. And he's like, no, 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 there's no such thing that happens at Stamford Bridge. No season ticket holders does that. I'm like, are you kidding me? What are you talking about? How many season ticket holders sell their tickets for crazy sums for games they can't attend? And they make a lot of money on them. And he wouldn't take that he wouldn't take that. He said, no, it doesn't happen. Not one season ticket holder would do that. I'm like, okay, because all 38,000 people in the stadium, basically. I actually bought, when I went to London last time, from a season ticket holder, I bought 2 tickets for 2 games when I watched. That was a Champions League game and a Premier League game. The Premier League game, he had a ticket, and he had a ticket for the Champions League, but he went out of town, so I bought it off him. He put it up on one of the website. I can't remember where it was, and I bought it off him. How much do you think I bought those tickets? He pays £80 for that ticket for the Premier League game. Well, I bought it for £400, that ticket. So the Champions League one, it was, I think, £180 because it was a quarter final. No, second round. It was against PSG, and I bought that ticket for $1,000. That ticket. So he came to me. So he was saying, no, you have no proof of this. I'm like, well, I can show you proof if you want. And then when I started saying that, I got proof and I can show you that I did it. He started being all aggressive and hate speech and talking ugly. And I'm like, all right, no problem. Don't want to deal with you. So yeah, unfortunately, they're a big problem. So we definitely need a new stadium for that reason, to get some new season ticket holders in there, not the ones that are just against it from the start. It will be hard, but I think one thing I can trust is ownership. They're going to find a loophole, a way around it, and they're going to get it done. They will move. I'm pretty sure of it. They will move and build a new stadium.
Yeah, I think they will find a way. My hope, as I've explained before, is the fact that one of the leaders of the Chelsea pitch owners did say that the board isn't going to decide whether to let Chelsea leave with the name or not. They will have the entire the members of the group of the PTO vote on it. I could be wrong. Did you see that? I'll say, did you see that too?
Yeah, but I can tell you the vote. The guy I was speaking to, he's one of the board members. He's one of the main guys.
Yeah, I mean, it leaves room.
They said, well, no, it's pretty much at the moment, it's a definite no. We would not give this ownership nothing, no rights to absolutely anything. Simple as that. It
leaves room for people that understand the importance of us building a much bigger stadium to educate, at least campaign, speak with those that we know are members, or maybe let's get a lot more people to become members too. Because if we grow
that's
numbers,
what they keep saying. You want to vote, buy it. It's £125.
And I think I have to do that. Actually, I don't know why I haven't bought that.
Yeah, buy a share and vote.
Yeah,
but coach, I can tell you now, it's not even close. You won't make a difference.
Just quickly, more likes, people, more likes. Keep dropping the likes on the show. We have 11 likes in total. We should be doing a lot better than that. And do not forget, this is the Blue Alliance show on the Chelsea Alliance show, aka the Blue Alliance show. It comes on this same time every Friday. The next episode part will be on one of our members' channel. We don't know who yet, but if nobody opts to host the next edition, I will take over. Today's is on Ty's YouTube channel, but please, we can do all much better than 11 likes. And we had 7-8 people watching. Right now we have 5 people watching. We keep growing. Just tell people about it. Your opinion matters. Thank you, Ty. Go ahead. Sorry. And I want to say quickly before Ty I saw this Owen Hart saying Chelsea needs to stay at Stamford Bridge. Here's the thing. Can you elaborate? Why do you want that to be the case? We want to know so that we can have a conversation. Let's hear your reason. You cannot just tell us you want us to stay at Stamford Bridge. Why? Your reason may well be because that's the only place if we stay that we'll be able to win trophies. Let's hear you. Or maybe because there's a juju there in the stadium that if we move, the juju will not move for us, and we'll start being a bottom table team, or maybe we get relegated. Let's hear you, Owen.
That, coach. Just to add to that, I'd love to stay at Stamford Bridge as well, but there's one big problem with Stamford Bridge. You can't. Max capacity is 60,000. It'll take a long time. It will be very difficult, and you can't go past that. Even
it will
if
be unnecessarily expensive.
You can't go past the 60,000. It's like you can't. That's the most you can ever build there. You cannot go past that 60,000. So you can't even upgrade it in the future. It's going to take forever. You're going to have to play it in a away ground somewhere, like Fulham probably for 3, 4, 5 years. And you can't really even upgrade it properly if you wanted later on like another upgrade or something. You can't do that. So it's a bit of a, it's not sustainable to build there, to be honest. It's just going to cost, and it's going to cost a lot more as well.
Yeah, it will be unnecessarily expensive. Plus, there's a huge risk. I think I've heard something to the effect of having, is it not quite irrigation, something drainage issue or water issue there that it could sink in the future, something to that effect. And because if you have to make it bigger, you'd have to build downwards. Which makes it unnecessarily expensive. It just doesn't make sense. Even though we've bought some surrounding properties, it's still not enough. I think we bought that in case.
No, it's not. No. Look, it's a beautiful area. I think you'll make a beautiful park and houses all around it. They can really use it and they make it nice. You're still going to have that, the pitch there, basically, because that's going to stay the pitch.
Yeah, Ty, just pretend Tobeho isn't here. Can you highlight the reason Owen Hart is given that? Tobeho isn't important. You know that.
Just read this one. Go on.
Okay, should I go ahead?
Yeah, you can.
Okay, he says we have changed too much, Kachila. We need to unify both teams playing there. Look at the Chelsea women team they saw there. I'm no disrespect to you, but I'm not sure your reasoning doesn't move me. It doesn't move me, honestly. Here's the thing. Let me go a bit deeper to why we need a much bigger stadium instead of the Arts Stadium. And because with Chelsea, we need to have one of the best stadiums, you could say, in Europe, actually. Let's move beyond England. We're not going to be able to do that. Technology-wise, technology can allow us, technological advancements can allow us build something special there still, but it will be unnecessarily expensive. And when we have a much bigger if we have a much bigger stadium, match incomes on match days will increase, which will mean we'll have a lot more money to sign a lot more. You can say to sign good players, irrespective of how much. I'm not going to go to the extent of saying irrespective of how much they cost. And the bigger the stadium, the more space you'd have for boards, for advertisements, more income, not just tickets too. So there's a lot more advantage to building a new stadium than trying to build it where we are right now. I don't think there's no added advantage to remaining at Stamford Bridge. Nothing really, in my opinion. But you're entitled to yours. I tried to see whether yours is good enough. Reason Owen Hart, I'd say to me not really, but that's just me. I don't know. Anybody else on the panel has anything else to add to that?
Yeah, depending. I want to bring in Tobago, but okay. Dante doesn't have anything to say. What do you think, Tobago? This is a good part for you to come in.
Yeah, guys, can you hear me?
Yes. To be honest,
no, we can't hear you. We can't hear you. No.
Yeah, in terms of the stadium, to be honest, is tricky because we have Chelsea CPOs. At the same time, we have Chelsea owners that are disagreeing a lot. So we don't know what is going to happen. But personally, in my opinion, in terms of the stadium, I think we should go to another place, maybe a Scott or somewhere else, because rebuilding Stamford Bridge will take longer, right? And then we'll move to another stadium. Is that a good idea? Sharing a stadium with Fulham, potentially Wembley, those kind of things. Is that helpful? I don't think so. So personally, I think we should stay in the Stamford Bridge, meanwhile building a new stadium elsewhere. But again, the new owners need to have a presentation with the Chelsea CPOs so that they can agree. But like Coachella says, unfortunately, they hate the Americans. They won't do that. So I don't know, man, what will happen to this situation. But hopefully, sooner than later, should be sorted out so that we can start rebuilding or building a new stadium.
It is crazy, really. Ty, if Dante has anything else to add, and I don't know, why am I hijacking your show? Go ahead, Ty.
Yeah, stop hijacking.
No, I mean, it's like I said, it's about when you're used to hosting shows, it becomes complicated to not, which is fine. I mean, it's an alliance. It doesn't mean that it's a problem, but yeah, I mean, yeah, I get what Tobago is saying, and I get what you guys are saying as well. I generally think that making a move to a different stadium is the best thing to do given the circumstances. For anybody that has been keeping themselves updated or informed as to what's going on with the stadium talk for years, we heard that they were plans to buy the property surrounding Stamford Bridge so that they could try to expand. But then when you look at that, it's not feasible. It's not a viable option. And as much as I understand what Owen Hart is saying about historically and Chelsea men playing there, I don't know if that's a good enough reason, because if anything, I don't know. I wouldn't say give them Stamford Bridge, but I mean, if that's your reasoning, then I don't know. And plus, both teams cannot play there because there gonna be some days when both teams will be playing at the same time. So realistically, that won't even be possible. So I don't get that reasoning. But yeah, I mean, I would say build somewhere else rather and having to do what Tottenham had to do, where they had to be playing at Wembley and all of that. So I think that's the best thing to do. We're in a situation where if you move to a different stadium, a different area, you can do that. So I don't have any problem with that. But I can't agree with his subsequent comments as well, which I'm going to ignore. But yeah, I don't think that's a valid reason as to why you'd say we must stay at Stamford Bridge. I can't agree with that. I'm sorry.
Can you highlight his follow-up comment again? I think he's driving a good conversation here, and I like it. So he says ticket holders should be only to local, only to local fans. In my opinion, yeah, we have. Listen, this agreement is good. I don't like for instance, what I used to tell Mies was that Mies or my friend worldwide Charles Sadiq, when he will have Uncle Jessa's Fat Thor, all of them. And one person will say something, everybody on the panel will say, I agree. And I asked them, is that what did I if that was the parliament? Listen, this agreement is good. It's a good sign. It simply shows that there are people who are thinking critically. Even though we may well all end up agreeing, but a bit of disagreement shows that we're thinking whether that's correct or wrong, or you get my point now. Disagreement is fine. If we all agree, then something is wrong. Heston, you say there, in your opinion, yeah, I agree, we can disagree. Heston, okay, if the locals should be the only ones allowed to buy tickets, and the foreigners start buying club merchants, like shirts, jerseys, even stop supporting Chelsea, do you think they still be as big as they are? They will not be. The clubs biggest, you can say non-locals actually, they make a lot more money for the club than the locals. But I don't think it makes sense to go into to drag that argument to that angle. We're all important, local, international, wherever you're from, as long as you support Chelsea Football Club, we're one. This argument is actually divisive or divisive. What's the correct pronunciation? Some people say divisive, some people say divisive. In my opinion, I don't think it's okay. It divides it. It creates a division. Divided mindset maybe, or the mindset that the locals don't respect the foreign fans. What's the entire population of England? What is it? Really? The entire population, if you want to do the mathematics, take your time, go do the mathematics, and then bear in mind that all English fans don't support Chelsea alone. There are tons of clubs in England. Then find out how many people from England, from that population of the United Kingdom, let's go with the UK that supports Chelsea. Then find out the size of the entire Chelsea fan base, and then minus the local fans and see how many you have, the number you have left. That will teach you that, the foreign fans, the non-local fans are equally important. So I don't think it's okay to argue that only the locals should be allowed. The ticket holders' right should be only to local fans. And it's not okay. And the UK government will actually tell you that's not okay, because when you have foreign fans coming, even not all of them will sleep at the Chelsea hotel. Some of them will patronize other hotels in the UK, which brings business to the UK, which helps the UK economy. So it just doesn't make sense. And without the ticket being open to non-locals, even if it doesn't hurt the UK economy, it will reduce it to, you could say, to a detail only economists will be able to recognize, that's not good. If you get my point. Let me not deviate too much from the footballing aspect of our conversation. I don't think it's okay. That's not a good suggestion. I know you're entitled to your opinion, and you're driving a good conversation here, but it's simply not okay, because it's a lot deeper than just saying leave it to the locals alone. Maybe you don't know that Chelsea is as big as haven't maybe learned that Chelsea is as big as it is today because of its global fan base, not the local fans. That's my opinion anyway.
Sorry there. Ty, do you know Owen? Do you know Owen Hart? Do you know who he is, or he's new on here?
Oh, well, he's
driving a good conversation. But go ahead, Dante.
No, just asking if you know him personally.
He's an OG. He's an OG. He's one of the one of the first few subscribers I had, so that's why I made him a mod, because he's a OG. Yeah, but I have never heard him speak such controversy before. I don't know if he's doing it on purpose. Or,
it's good. If he's doing that on purpose to drive a good conversation, it's good. Yeah.
He's got an opinion. Is he English? Owen, are you English, local English there, or are you a season ticket holder? Just let us know. That'll be nice.
I think he is. Probably that's why he's probably as vocal about it being local only.
Yeah, look, I don't agree to that. I understand his point, but all the tickets should not be like that. There might be a percentage, as for the season ticket holders. It's probably good to have the same people going every game after the game. Same people. That's not a bad idea, but a percentage, not every just for the locals. That should not happen. But as a season ticket holder, maybe they should have a larger percentage of the slice, and that will help a lot from a big stadium that's 75,000. You're gonna have plenty of room for that. So yeah, look, I don't agree to it just being only to locals. I don't mind it if it's a little percentage, that it's like a percentage that for season ticket holders to be like local English, so they can go to the game every week, and it's the same sort of crowd every week. That's fine, but not all of them. Obviously, that's a bit ridiculous to do all of them, because it's just not going to happen.
Redonkulous. It's
redonkulous. And like I said earlier, a lot of those season ticket holders, they don't go to every game. They just don't. Some do, some don't, but not all go to every game. So, and then they sell their tickets anyway. But yeah, that's probably not a good idea just to keep it just local. That's a massive division, and yeah, that's pretty not very good. I think that'll cause a lot of trouble.
And I don't think the club will ever do that.
No chance.
And Owen Hart, I want to say thank you for actually presenting the question, or maybe your opinion. And I hope you didn't take offense with my response. I'm just giving you've presented your opinion, and that was my counter opinion. It just wouldn't make sense to say, okay, like he had a subsequent comment there, Ty. I wanted to read that one. I've read it already. Just highlight it on the screen so that the viewers can understand what we're actually talking about. That one, I hear you there. I like how he's not. You say no personal attacks. He's just presenting his opinion cleanly, and I like that.
This is not derogatory,
no,
arrogant.
nothing. Yeah, exactly. Ty, what? Ty did he just remove himself?
That connection,
my goodness, maybe, I can hear my daughter crying. Actually, I'm going to say, but Huijsen, that line says that I hear you. My point remains that ticket holders should be local fans, and then let the foreign fans support through merchandise. No, I don't think that's okay. Everybody, and chances are, if you should the club tomorrow say, you know what, we want only the locals to be the ones to have to be ticket holders, chances are they're not going to have enough to fill the stadium, because not everybody will have the money to purchase tickets. So, and something else that Dante he's already talked about is the fact that locals actually, they do make money from tickets that they buy. They buy it for $100 and then send £100 and then, or around that, or a little less, I don't know the exact price, and sell it for around $400 or so. So I don't think most of the locals would want that to happen too. It's not going to be all fun. The fun will probably go away to an extent, but it will never happen. I don't see any club doing that. Maybe North Korea can do that, because yeah, definitely, who would want to go watch a game that plays week in, week out, if you get my point. So what I'm trying to say in effect is that's not okay. It's never going to happen. It's just never going to happen. It's a divisive, you can say it would divide the fan base, and already the division is there. You've seen a lot of the local fans speak in a manner that you say, wow, that person has a racist tendency. I've seen that before. I'm not saying you are, but you get my point. Some people present it in a manner that you say, so this person harbors something crazy. It's only for the fact that they are in a public space, that they're not being them really. They're not really exhibiting the sort of person they are, if that makes sense.
You back, Ty?
Yeah, I'm just having some connection issues. I got my laptop froze, so that's how I ended up leaving. But yeah, I mean, this is a very interesting point of view. But I mean, he has the right to his opinion, but I'm just surprised that this is what he thinks. I don't know.
I mean, it's good that he's presenting his opinions in a very clean manner. Maybe we can help educate him to understand why it shouldn't be like that. It shouldn't, really.
Yeah.
Oh, we lost him again. Yeah, it looks like we lost Ty again, Coach.
It looks like he's frozen.
Yep.
Ty's using a dollar store internet connection. Yours is better than him. Yours is Walmart internet connection. His is dollar store.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's pretty. Yeah, mine's luxury compared to that one.
Do you guys have anything else you want to say about it?
Why are you laughing? Carlo Dalo one. I didn't say anything.
Tobago Louise, what are you laughing at?
It's really, yeah, David Luiz. it's interesting how people reason. And in Owen's case, chances are he's just throwing it out there for us to have an open. I like people presenting such opinion because it drives a constructive conversation that will lead to people that are open-minded to learn and maybe learn to be more open-minded. Because that's a ridiculous, really, suggestion there, and I don't think the club will ever consider doing such. Chelsea is a global brand. It will not be as big as it is today without its global fan base. It's really that simple. Owen, don't worry. Just have your conversation. Don't worry about that. And Heston, I think all the panelists we have today are able to understand that you're just experiencing your opinion. And in all honesty, not a lot of people will see it like that. A lot of people will quick to start talking about the R, calling you, saying that you're the R word. But don't worry about it. Move on. Let's have a good conversation, please.
Go on, Tobago. You want to talk about the transfers?
Yeah, since Ty said I should say this, so according to David Austin, the number 9 position remains high on Chelsea's agenda too. And while we all seen and discussed on here, options such as Delap, Benjamin Šeško, isn't clear yet who they'll go for. So, Dante, what are your thoughts about it?
Okay, go ahead. I'll let Dante speak. I wanted to say something quickly.
You want to talk some more, Coach? You haven't
talked talkative coach, right? No, I just wanted to say.
Strasbourg, by the way.
Oh, who scored?
This young kid from the academy. I forgot his name.
I wanted to say quickly, for me, if after telling us, if we're to believe what we'll be hearing in the media, what we'll be seeing on X, that we're going to sell 999 players to buy one important striker. I don't consider these two players that the sort of striker we need to sell the entire squad to buy one of them. It just doesn't make sense. But two things here. It's either this particular report is wrong, or all the stuff we've been seeing about us selling 999 players to buy one striker is wrong. I don't think both can be correct. You cannot tell me we'll be selling 999 players to buy either of these two players. Benjamin Šeško, as much as I think he's good, I don't think he's the player we should be saying. I don't believe he's a player we're going to be selling 999 players to buy just him. Delap also, and in Delap, I haven't seen that which everybody. I don't. You can say I haven't seen that which everybody have seen in him. You can say that made them the reason that everybody have been pushing for the club to sign him. I haven't seen that, really. Do I think he's a talent? He's a talent, but yeah, I don't know if he's the guy for us. But that's just my opinion anyway.
And he's not a starter. He's not going to come in and be a number one striker. I don't see that happening either. So, yeah, Coach, you're pretty much right. They're pretty much all they're both around the same price. They would be around the same price, probably around that sort of 50 million mark. That's how much they're sort of valued at. Yeah, like you said, 8 to 9 players to fund the striker. Well, no, if they're only 50 million, both of these guys, they're not really more than that, to be honest. So it's not that. The club did say that was taken a bit out of context. I think the club did say a centre back as well and a right-footed winger as well. So that's another 3 signings really. So, and we do got to clear out probably. We were talking about the other day how many players. I calculated 10 plus players that pretty much need to go, and I was being pretty generous. There's probably more like closer to 15, to be honest. So, we'll probably try to move as many as we can, and I think that's why we're trying to do our business quite early, and we already did our business quite early.
That's one thing I can believe.
Yeah, so we did our business quite early, I think, so we can have time to move those contracts, to try to move them anyway. We won't be able to move them all, but we'll give it a go to try to move as many as possible. So that's where 2 sporting directors comes in handy. Especially people are saying that there should be only one sporting director. Well, the last probably 2-3 years, I think it's been a big plus to have 2 sporting directors, take care of all the deals, because there's been so many deals, ins and outs. You got to have a couple of sporting directors working. It's actually better. So I don't mind having the extra sporting director. Look, will we get a striker? If it's these two, I'm not sure. I think I don't see it being Šeško, to be honest. I don't see it being him. If I do, it will be Delap, but I don't think it might not be Delap on his own. I think
have we not also heard from was it Onston that Delap is looking for he definitely favored joining our club that will be part of the next edition of the Champions League.
100%, yeah. Same with Šeško as well, basically. Same with all of them that want to move. If they're going to make that move, well, they want to move. The only thing with Delap, he's going to get relegated, most likely. It's probably 90% at the moment. He's probably going to get relegated. So
that makes his price, that will shatter his price.
It's a bit much asking to play Champions League when you've just been relegated. So I think Delap is not, I think he would go to a mid-table club or somewhere. It doesn't really matter. Šeško probably would be more picky leaving Leipzig. He's been in the past. He would want to go somewhere else. Like he said, Arsenal are pretty close with him. So I think Arsenal is probably an option for him. But Delap, I can 100% see coming to us. But I don't think he would be the only one. I think he would come in. And then, like I said, there might be another one that can play as a winger, but can play as a striker as well. So we'll just have to wait and see. Would I go for any of these two? No, I probably wouldn't go for these two. Would I go for Delap as a second option? He'll be, if you get him the good price, I'll probably take him as a second option because he's got a lot of upside. He's strong. He's quick. He can develop that game very well under Maresca, and Maresca knows him very well as well. He's used him in that position before. So he knows the Maresca system. He knows how to play it. So that's a big plus. And the other big plus, he's done it, albeit only 6 months now in the Premier League, but at least he's done it in the Premier League. And he's been...
I mean, it's a plus.
It's a big plus. Yeah, it's a big plus. He doesn't need that settling sort of time for the Premier League, like some players do need that first year. He probably wouldn't. He would be pretty comfortable, especially with the age profile of our squad. He'll know everyone there, most of them. So they'll already be friends. Most of them are already friends anyway. So yeah, look, I wouldn't mind him, but the one in the middle of the photo there probably would be the priority. He probably suits much better. A little bit more of a different profile as well.
Gyökeres
can play that number 9 traditional as well. He can do it all, basically. He can do a bit of everything, and he's got that physicality, that height. Yeah, he's good. And the thing I like about Gyökeres there, he plays a lot against... He's been playing a lot against low blocks, and he's proven a low blocks. Now, the Delap has not done that. Being at Ipswich, you don't play against low blocks. You're always on the counter attack. He's always got space to run into. And that was one thing I said about Pedro Neto when he joined. I'm like, yeah, he might take a while to settle in. It might take till next year because they don't play that way. They don't play against... They're the ones that are in low block and they've got the space to run into. The Delap is the same exactly. So Gyökeres, no problem. He plays against both, but mostly against low blocks every week, and he does extremely well against low blocks. So that's why Gyökeres is the one for me that I would go for, yeah.
So, Dante...
Yeah, sorry, go ahead, Tebe.
Just quick question, Dante, and then give me a reasons. So, between Delap and Šeško, if we have to choose between them, who would you choose?
I would choose Delap.
Yeah, I mean, lesser risk. That's because the Premier League experience. I think both are pretty much inexperienced, in my opinion, to a certain extent.
And also, just to add to that, also Šeško, he's not a pressing forward. He's not. He's more just stays in the box, more 9, sits there with the central defender. He doesn't really press or run around as much. He tries to do it, but as you've seen with Leipzig, with Nkunku from Leipzig, they don't really play quite that way. Not all those players play that way. So he's the big guy up front. He doesn't do that. So yeah, look, he might be okay, but again, I think Delap would suit a lot more, just because he played in England and he knows the country well. He knows the league very well now. Yeah, I think he would suit more. There's not much difference between them, but I would go for him just because he knows, like I said, Maresca very well, the system, and he's done it in that system. Where Šeško would have to adjust a lot, and he's a bigger guy. He's tall, but he's not very strong. Šeško, he'll get bullied very quickly. He'll get pushed off the ball very quickly. That's not his game. He doesn't play like that.
Yeah. Ty, can you highlight that comment by Beyond the Belt podcast? I think you could say it's an incomplete comment, which reads, Chelsea must sign the cheapest option as a striker. Are you saying that definitely would end up signing the cheapest striker? Are you suggesting we should sign the cheapest? For me, what I think we must do, I think I have two musts. Let me just go there. Two musts, M-U-S-T-S. It's a bit difficult for me to pronounce. I'm not sure why. Number one, we must not sign Alexander Isak. And I'll tell you why. Why? He doesn't differ that much from Nicholas Jackson, except that he's a much better finisher. Nicholas Jackson is more physical of the two and quicker, actually. He's just a much better finisher, in my opinion. And maybe, I think, perhaps definitely more experienced. And
but you think that doesn't count, Coach?
It counts, but here's the thing. If we really want to mix it up, it shouldn't be Isak. But we can still, if the intent is that we will sign Isak and still sign a number 9 leaning towards your stereotypical number 9 profile or traditional number 9, then fine. But if we sign Isak and say that's it, we still start complaining in certain games come next season that we should have signed an out number 9 because he's not that.
I don't know if you get my opinion. The only thing I'll add to that, Coach, is I've seen Isak. He's getting stronger. He's a big boy. He's tall. He's got a lot of meat on him.
But overall, you get my opinion on what I said. We can still sign him.
Yeah, but he's
still sign Gyökeres because they're not the same.
Yeah. I understand that, but I wouldn't say no to Isak if he was an option and we can't get the other ones or they've chosen to go somewhere else. I wouldn't say no to Isak.
I wouldn't. But do I think we'd actually push to sign him? I'd say no. But I really would like to understand what Beyond the Belt podcast is saying. And after that, we have another comment below it. Did I cover the two musts I was talking about? We must not sign Isak. That we must sign, if we have to sign, it has to be a more stereotypical number 9, but not just stereotypical number 9 like Lukaku, only good at waiting in the box and pointing the exact place where he wants the ball, doesn't adjust his position. Should a defender make a move to stop the ball from reaching getting to him? Ty, the next comment there from Ayode Oluwafemi Ekubadu. Can you highlight that if you're still there? He reads, but I can see it from one of my systems there. Anybody want to say anything else before I read that one?
Tobago.
Probably sleeping.
Nothing yet.
All right, let me read this. It says, should Chelsea move away from Stamford Bridge 100%? Will they? Maybe. Yeah, that's an excellent comment. Because there's a lot going on. The PTO, unfortunately, I'm not, but I need to buy the form I need to become a member so that I vote as I wish. Unfortunately, you could say they're holding the club hostage, mostly driven by their hatred of the American owners, not necessarily because no good good argument coming from them. And the reason why I believe where you asked the question, will they? Maybe, because if Roman, who I've said this before,
I was going to say that,
yeah, who is very good at finding corners, finding ways to get things done. He's that sort of, I don't care how you do it, just get it done owner. If he wasn't able to do it, then these owners that the fans hate, and you could argue some of this, and definitely some of the fans that hate them are part of the CPO. That makes it even more difficult for them. That's just my opinion. It looks like Tobago is bailing on us. Okay, he's saying Owen saying that don't worry about it, just let's have a conversation. I want us to sign Gyökeres or Boniface. Boniface, I don't think it's going to happen. I think what we saw the other day was rumors, in my opinion. Nothing serious. Rumors that we're planning to do whatever we can to sign him. I actually did a YouTube short video on that topic, and I can't quite remember the source I quoted. But going by what Victor Boniface, he said himself that he doesn't want to play in the Premier League. He'd rather play in La Liga. And the chances that the Saudis will still come back for him, because he was on the verge of moving to Saudi Arabia. I don't know why that deal fell through. Maybe they signed. They signed. What's his name? The Aston Villa kid that we wanted. What's his name? Dante, the Aston Villa kid we wanted to sign. The Saudis went for him and forfeited their pursuit of Victor Boniface.
Can't remember, coach. I'm not sure which one you mean.
The kid.
Yeah. Sorry, your superstar. That's right. What's his name? He's such a big superstar. I forgot his name. Duran.
Duran. Yeah, I like him. So the Saudis were at the time pushing for the two players. I think they were probably. I think it makes for me. They did sign you could say the better option, not really the better player of the two players, because he's still very young. Boniface proven, excellent finisher, physical, good dribbler, can operate on the flanks too. And for me, Boniface, I don't think comes to the Premier League. Isaac, I've talked about that. I've said if we can sign him and still sign a more stereotypical player, leaning towards the profile of a more stereotypical number 9, or what some you could call traditional number 9, or some people call it out and out number 9, fine by me. We cannot just sign Isaac and say that's it. I'm open to us signing Isaac, but let's not sign him as the number 9 we're looking for, because I've presented my opinion that I don't think he differs that much from Nicholas Jackson. They're both the same. More of a second striker than a stereotypical number 9. Nicholas Jackson is quicker, more physical. Isaac, more experienced and a better finisher. We can have them both, but I don't want us to sign Isaac and then that's it. Yeah, we signed a striker and we're fine. And that's the reason I'm preaching for us not to sign him. And plus, he's not going to come cheap.
Yep. Yeah, 100%. Look, Isak's an interesting one. We'll see. It all depends where we finish. We have to finish in the Champions League, and where Newcastle finish as well. If Newcastle don't finish in the Champions League spot, he's gone. He's out. So he will be leaving. Whoever wants him, but he will go. And Newcastle cannot demand the money they demand if they don't make the Champions League. Yeah, they can't ask that money for him, unfortunately. So it'll still be a lot, but it won't be the 150 they're saying. That's just them just saying that, really. That was just in January, basically. But it won't be that much. It'll probably be around that 100 million, even under 100 million, in my opinion. If they don't make the Champions League, they will need to move him on. He already basically hinted that he will be moving on if they don't. So,
I mean,
he's too good of a player.
If he's serious about leaving, I think
exactly, coach. He'll force the move.
That will lead to the price dropping significantly.
Of course.
Yeah.
And they'll have to sell. They'll be in a position where they would have to sell. So,
yeah, unfortunately, yeah.
Well, they won't be able to buy any other players if they don't. So, not how they want to. If they want to go again and buy another 2-3 really good players, well, Isak's got to go, because for PSI and that, he has to go. They haven't been able to sign anyone because of that. And his contract, if they make Champions League and he stays, his contract has to get renewed and get a big pay rise. And yeah, that's not going to happen. If they do that, they won't be able to sign another one then. So if he goes, well, then they can sign another 2 players, maybe even 3 players if he does go. So I think that's what they're looking at. And I think, if it's only if they finish in that 3rd, 4th spot and the Champions League again, and they get that Champions League money again, or maybe then they'll be able to he might want to stay. They'll be able to keep him, and they might be able to buy another player. But if they don't, they're in trouble financially. Yeah, they'll have to sell him. So, yeah, with the Boniface one, yeah, look, he stayed. He was going to go, but he stayed at Leverkusen. But he doesn't play that much. he wants out now. Basically, he hasn't played that much, and like you said, coach, I think he will go to. He's the type of guy that seems that would go for the money, and he will. It doesn't matter the age. He will go to Saudi Arabia, get that paycheck, and not worry about it. He seems that type of guy to me. I don't see him going anywhere else.
Yeah, I think there are a few comments that I'd like you to address. We need to sign Osimhen or Gyökeres. That's a good one. Why can't we sign early Watkins? That's a good one. But let me take the Gyökeres one. Let me take the one from Ayode. Then Dante can answer the one from Beyond the Belt podcast. Ayode, yes, now I'm going to say this. Good thing you are a Nigerian. And I've told people I never believed for 1 second that Osimhen was serious about joining Chelsea. And I will never change my opinion. I think he will still end up in Saudi Arabia. He grew up in poverty. Yeah. He grew up in poverty. He suffered as a kid. And at the time, what I believed happened was that Saudis were seriously interested in him. And that they were talking, his camp and the Saudis were talking, that they even had to entertain his demand for an adjustment on the contract they had presented to him. We did hear, I think, was it Fabrizio Romano, a few outlets at the time telling us what was going on, that the Saudis are considering his demands for a change in the contract that they presented to him. And De Laurentiis himself, the Napoli president, also did see that the Saudis were willing to cough out whatever it takes to sign Osimhen. He moved the goalpost in terms of how much he was asking them. And then Osimhen didn't just want to tell Chelsea that he prefers going to Saudi, because if he says that, the Saudis will not be doing so much, will not be, you can say, offering a lot more than they were offering at the time. So he was trying to use Chelsea to get the best deal he can, to milk the Saudis. Let me use a more relatable language, and then it backfired spectacularly. And that's just my opinion. And I'm not changing that till tomorrow. I don't believe for 1 second that Benin kid really wanted to come to Chelsea at the time. No. If it was a few years ago, before the Saudis started throwing crazy money into football, I'd say yes. He probably wanted, but he really wanted more money from the Saudi. He decided, okay, if I'm going to leave Europe, it has to be for something special. But he was using Chelsea, and then it backfired spectacularly. I never for one time believed that he'd take a pay cut to join Chelsea, especially given what the Saudis had on the table for him at the time.
And I think we knew that as well, Coach. We're pretty well connected with the Saudis. I think we knew that as well.
We knew,
so we're like, so I think we like, okay, well, you want to be that way? Well, this is what we're offering you. Take it or you don't. Simple. And obviously he didn't take it. So we'll see what happens in the summer, but I don't see him coming to Chelsea. No chance. I don't see
and what has happened, I think you just made a good point. We were well connected to the Saudis. We probably knew at the time that he was never coming to us. We only pushed with seriousness the moment the Saudis pulled out. Do you remember?
Correct.
It was towards the end of that particular transfer window. We weren't that serious until the Saudis say, "Yeah, we're done. We're going with Ivan Toney." That was when we started pushing seriously to get them to join us, because we probably heard from the Saudis that truthfully they're done. They don't want him at the time. So Osimhen never wanted to come to Chelsea. He never wanted to come to Chelsea at all.
Yeah, look, he's a Chelsea fan. He can say that. But coming here for the money he wanted, that's not going to happen. So, I think that's exactly what happened as well, in my opinion. I think, Chelsea found out, and they're like, well, okay, well, then if you're going to happen, it's going to happen on our terms, and it's an opportunity for us, and we're going to it's going to be on our terms, not your terms. You take it or leave it. And that's why it went so long, and we didn't give him what he wanted, not even close, obviously.
And we didn't push it seriously until the Saudis pulled out.
Yeah, exactly. Look, if he really loved Chelsea that much, he would have accepted, because he's gone to Galatasaray. So he would have accepted and, got an incentivized contract and still made a lot of money. But like you said, Coach, there's something more there, and definitely money's involved. And you can just see the type of character he is as well, like off field and stuff that I've seen. He's very
lot of controversies,
Yeah, money is very part of it as well. He's very big on the money. I saw him in an interview. He wants to have private jets. He wants to have more money like Ronaldo or Messi. He wants to have money, like proper money.
Yeah, and then he will leave the
when I
Saudis
saw
and
that,
join
I'm
Chelsea.
like, okay, so now I understand. Yes, okay, yep. You want to have that generational wealth, and the only way you're getting that, because you're not that player, is going to Saudi Arabia.
Yeah. Ayodele is saying, my Nigerian brother, Coachella Kubadu. I agree. Osimhen used us like a wet rag and 10 places.
Hey, I think we handled him pretty well.
Yeah, I wouldn't say he didn't use us without consent. He's using us because he's allowed to. It's his right. Correct. We cannot come out and say, we don't really want to sign him, because we were interested, but we weren't willing to let him ride us. We were waiting for him to be desperate and we tried when the Saudis pulled out, and it was a bit too late. And even at that, what's this current club, the Turkey club, they offered a lot better salary. Every week he gets something. He doesn't have to measure a certain performance rating to get paid fully. It was crazy, but a lot of people believed he was going to join us. And at one point I thought it was going to happen, but then I took my time and looked at it and said, he knew exactly what he was doing. Right?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. Ty, you back?
Yeah, he's back. I mean, it's not easy to work with a dollar store internet service.
I agree. I can't even say that coach is wrong, because that's actually the case. I'm using a poor quality connection, but so it's just reality, unfortunately. But I realize a lot of comments have come in. Osimhen, I don't see it happening. Gyökeres perhaps could happen. It's not really a certainty, but I don't know. In terms of the striker option, I'm not really sure. Roger K says number Cunha. I don't think Cunha is a viable option. And Boniface, he doesn't want to come to the Premier League, so I don't think he's even an option. But
if we're talking about a striker, we shouldn't even consider Cunha.
Well, he's not a striker.
No, we shouldn't. No.
Oh no, he's frozen again, coach. You jinxed it. You had to interrupt.
No, listen, I've used the dollar store internet services before.
Yep, he's gone again.
He's gone. I don't know any other transfer you heard out there. Let me see if I can find something, even share my screen. Nothing interesting. Not a lot is going on these days. I think Chelsea will find a way to keep our transfer activities under wrap. For a reason probably best known to the owners, because usually,
that's a great point, coach.
I'm not seeing nothing serious here, nothing really.
Let me just address that Ollie Watkins one.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
He said, why can't we sign Ollie Watkins? Well, like I said, he's quite mature. He's going to be 30, I think. He's 29 already. I think he'll be 30 next year. So
by going by standards, he's nearly retirement.
Yeah, he won't really fit in with this group, as it's not what they're looking at to do now. They wouldn't sign, and he would cost a lot of money. First of all, Aston Villa, Champions League, the way they're going, they've got a bit of ambition, so he wouldn't want to leave. I don't think he'll want to leave right now. Yeah, he costs a lot of money. The age is not right. Okay. And really, if you look at his form, he wasn't very good this year, to be honest. So he struggled quite a bit. So look, I think no, he's not for us. It doesn't suit the squad at all. Again, and he's not a striker. He's not really quite a striker either. Again, back to that argument, Cunha, Ollie Watkins, they're not really strikers. They're playing as strikers, but they were never really strikers. They were just converted into a sort of like a false nine striking sort of position that rotates around, not really quite striking as a striker. So yeah, I don't think he suits. Doesn't suit the model. Doesn't suit the project right now. And yeah, I think he's not really worth it, to be honest. On salary he is, and he would be asking even more. And the fee, nah, not even worth it. Not even close.
For Watkins, I used to argue that he was one of the most underrated strikers. I think 2 seasons ago and last season also, but I think he's dropped form.
Yeah, well, he was a winger, coach. He was always a winger. He was never a striker.
His form has, but again, he can play as a second striker. He's a
yeah, because he put a bit of meat on. He put a bit of. He's getting old. He's nearly, like I said, 29. He put a bit of weight on. He's a bit stronger. So he moved across to the central, the striking position. But once again, he was always a winger, out wide, never really a striker. He doesn't play like a traditional striker either.
I want to go to heaven. I'm not discussing meat with you here. This report here, thank you for giving me access there. This reads, Newcastle have joined Manchester United, Tottenham, West Ham, Chelsea, and Liverpool in expressing their interest in Leo goal machine Jonathan David. The eye paper understands that all 6 have made contact with the players' representatives. He's a good player, and on a free, he's the sort of player that everybody would want to sign. He's an excellent finisher. He's not your stereotypical number 9, but because he's a free agent, we're pretty good at snatching up this opportunity. And given the fact that Christopher Nkunku, definitely, in my opinion, will be leaving Chelsea come the summer transfer window, I'd say go get him. Dante, let's hear you.
Yeah, you say go get him. I say let him stay or let him go somewhere else. But
as a free agent,
he's a free agent, coach. But and I think that's the only reason these clubs are interested, because he's a free agent now. I don't think if we were interested, I think we would have already bought him. We would have already bought him, in my opinion. But the one thing he doesn't do, he doesn't press up front at all. He's not that type of player. He's very much an Nkunku. If you love the way Nkunku plays right now for Chelsea, well, plays very similar to Nkunku, the way Nkunku plays. Yeah, he's a number 9 striker, but he's not. Again, he's one of those hybrid strikers. He's not really a striker. Scores a lot of penalties. Obviously, if you look at his stats, they're very good. They look very impressive. But unfortunately,
when you dig deep, hey, there you go. Walmart internet connection level at work.
System that would suit him as a second striker. But would I have him over Nkunku at the moment? Say, well, yeah, if he's, I would say yes, but otherwise, no, I wouldn't go for him. No, I don't like quite the way he. Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Yeah.
Yep, I don't quite like the way he plays. I don't think he suits the Premier League at all, to be honest. I don't see him playing. It's got to be a system that for him to fit into, and the way he plays, he's more of a lazy player. I don't think that suits. It doesn't suit going to some of those teams that sit back and then counterattack. That's not his game either, to be honest. So yeah, it's got to be a right system for me. He's got a right fit, and that's why he's been there for so long, because yeah, it's a good club. Yeah, I don't see him. I don't see that.
Yeah. Let's see what you have here. Anything serious here? This here takes about Aston Villa are leading the race to sign Madueke in the summer and have renewed optimism in the race for his signature, as there is increasing confidence that Chelsea are prepared to cash in if a strong bid that allows them to make a marginal profit is tabled. This is believable, but I don't think Chelsea will be in a rush to sell him himself if he pushes to leave. And the chances are, when Esteva arrives, even if Esteva moves to the flanks, or even if Cole Palmer moves to the right wing or whatever, if he doesn't get to play week in week out, you can say he's confident in his abilities. He's probably that sort of player that will push to leave. I see that happening. I don't think he'd do that in the summer. I think he'd wait to see, given that Maresca he likes him.
He's adopted him,
yeah. So
he's adopted him. He put in the papers, but he's adopted him officially.
Yeah, so I don't think it's not going to be in the summer. I think it will be probably around January transfer window because he's going to push to leave. But if he pushes persistently in the summer, he's going to get sold. But I don't think it will be. I don't think it will be in the summer. Yeah, he can improve. He can become a better player. I think his selfishness is one of his biggest issues, in my opinion. And Ayodele, this is an exclusive. I don't know how it's not that we don't welcome everybody, but it's only channel owners. Yeah, with some exceptions, unfortunately. That's the Chelsea Alliance show or the Blue Alliance show. If we decide to do a call-in show, then yeah, we can share the link in the comment section so you can join. Okay. Let's see. But I like what he said about Ty there. Ty needs to get a router. Stop using McDonald's free Wi-Fi. Yeah, that's a good one. I hope that pissed Ty off a bit. Oh my goodness. I don't know. I don't think and Ty Dante, were you gonna say something about this news, or Ty maybe? And give me sports. I don't trust him. There was one outlet that when they post something, I say, yeah, it's there's something there. Fabrizio Romano, he used to post video there, which tell at the time I realized, okay, if anything comes out there, I should trust it to an extent until he says something. Anything else? Yeah, I don't think there's anything else. Yeah,
Ty's back.
Yeah, Ty, do you see the Madueke news? Something else I want to see. I want to talk about. I don't know if it's irrelevant. Maybe because now Frank Lampard comes into the conversation. Did you guys watch that interview where Harry Redknapp called Thomas Tuchel a spy, a German spy, and I'm not sure. I'm not sure what's wrong with the man. And he wasn't happy that Thomas Tuchel got the job at the time also. Probably because he believed that his cousin or his nephew, Frank Lampard, should get it. Sheffield United boss Chris Wilder backs Lampard for England job. You have a manager now. He hasn't lost a single game. The team, the players seem to be happy to play under him. Why are you talking about? Why are you backing Lampard for the England job? I just don't know. Oh my goodness. I don't know. I don't think there's much out there to talk about, Ty. I don't know. Anything else you want to talk about, Ty?
It's like you said, there's not really much out there. So I guess in that sense, probably.
Yeah. I'm not seeing anything new here. According to claim in the Turkish media, Chelsea are the latest club to join the race to sign Adana Demirspor goalkeeper Deniz Domeza. I'm not sure. Sorry, I'm butchering the names. Just I did my best, but that's all I can say right now. I don't know, Type. We don't have much to talk about. I think we should call it a day. But it's been an excellent discussion. I like you said the angle that was it Roderick? What was his name? The angle
from Owen Hart.
Owen Hart, yeah. I liked that. I think you can say it led to a good conversation, in my opinion. I wish we have more people like him in the chat, but at least from some angle. Nothing else comes to mind, and we don't know who's going to host the next edition, so we cannot announce that. Hopefully, we'll find out on time and then talk about it. And this is about Chelsea may have won the race to sign Giovanni Coenda for £14 million. But excitement, excuse me. But excitement about his potential goes beyond club affiliation. In Portugal, there's a growing conviction that Coenda will be a genuine global star. I think that kid is good. I need to watch him more, as I've said. I need to watch him play for 90 minutes. I'm just going by what I've seen in clips. So sometimes that gives you a good idea. But I need to see, you can say, probably subconsciously being influenced by what I've heard from top journalists and football commentators about this kid. I think he's good. And I'm happy. I think he broke a Ronaldo record in Portugal. Yep, he did break one of Cristiano Ronaldo records. I have to find out which it is. Maybe do a YouTube short video with it. Ty, I'll let you round up the show.
Right. Do you have anything else you want to say before I run off the show, Dante?
No, all good. Yeah, covered quite a lot. Yeah, I had a bit of internet trouble as well with my Wi-Fi as well. So all good. We can move on. No problem.
Yep.
All right, fair enough.
Yeah. Chief stop.
All right, fair enough. I don't know. I don't have any consistent network at the moment, so that's the reason. But yeah, a lot was discussed, so fair enough. But and Rich Moneymakers is
Rich
everybody's joining late now. Big up all the legends. Everyone hit the likes and subscribe. It's free, still recovering. Get well soon, Rich Moneymakers. A lot of people are coming in now. Whenever the show is about to end, that's what always happens. But we've discussed a lot. Well, I can't say we because I was in and out for a lot of the.
I mean, it's still we.
But, yeah, yeah. But this has been episode 3 of the Chelsea Alliance show. Much appreciation to Coachella, Tobago, and Dante, who are obviously here. That obviously had to maneuver the show in my absence, to put it nicely. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. As Coach said, we'll have to see what happens as it relates to any further Chelsea Alliance show for next Friday. But this is still the early stages, and we see what happens going forward. But at the end of the day, what is Rich Moneymakers saying? Keep up the good work, and you're doing well. Appreciate the Rich Moneymakers. But once more, thank you, Coach. Thank you, Tobago and Dante, for all coming in to make Chelsea Alliance episode 3 a possibility. But thank you guys for watching once more. And big up.
Big up, Ty.
Big up, Ty. Take care, everyone.
In Stamford Bridge where legends play, the Blues march on day by day. From the academy's nurturing hands to the roaring crowds in distant lands, Chelsea Sessions brings the game to life with training clips